operations, we have what we call 3 zonal offices. One is located in Soma to cover Lower River Region and Central River Region South, headed by a zonal officer and what we call community empowerment facilitators. Those are the grassroots extension workers who would be working closely with their partners on the ground to work directly with beneficiary communities.
The project facilitator explains what is likely to follow after the nationwide launch of the project.
The official launching of the CLIP would continue next week when we would be visiting the western region, Brikama. There will be official launch in Kanifing Municipal Authority. There will also be official launching in Banjul Municipal Authority. After the launch, Ibrahim Acham, who is the Director General of GAMWorks, would mobilize his team. They have developed an information dissemination program. They would visit the potential beneficiary communities, share information about the project approach, the underlying principles, selection criteria, and the various steps that would need to be followed in order to access project funds.
Speaking at the launch, Honorable Wajuara, the Minister for Regional Administration, Lands and Traditional Rulers, urged beneficiaries to always design tangible sub-project proposals capable of transforming their lives when soliciting support from the SLEEP project, since it intends to use a community demand-driven approach to improve their infrastructure and livelihood. Louis Mendy, GRTS.
We will be back with more stories right after this break.
His Excellency Sheikh Professor Al-Hadi.
There is direct relationship between the economic growth of a country.
And this 5-hectare maize field that you are seeing here in Ilyasa village.
No matter how, where, when and who is involved, our corps of reporters will always be there to bring you the news as it happens.
Welcome back. Another international news. Authorities have found the flight data recorder and cockpit voice recorder from the last weekend's deadly plane crash in Nigeria. Investigators are going to use those recorders to try to piece together what caused the crash. But right now, recovery efforts are suspended because of heavy rains. And as we hear in this report, the death toll is expected to rise as authorities try to recover more bodies.
Carol Iwachuku was looking forward to a relaxing Sunday.
Then suddenly we had a big bang. Initially I said, oh my God, it's not Boko Haram again.
It wasn't an attack by the militant Nigerian Islamic fundamentalist group. It was a plane crash.
Suddenly you will hear another bang, why? And the smoke and the fire will go right up in the air. I said all the prayers I know in my life. Ask God to save us. And indeed, God saved us.
The passengers on Dana Air Flight 9J992 from Nigeria's capital Abuja to Lagos were not so lucky. All 153 were killed when the MD-83 jet slammed into a densely populated residential neighborhood just 11 miles from the runway. Others died on the ground. Kingsley Okeke was settling in to watch a soccer match when the plane suddenly slammed into his apartment. Suddenly,
there was fire everywhere.
So you were right down here on this ground floor. And the wall?
Yes, the wall in the building. The plane pushed the wall in our building. It pushed it in, so the thing hit everything.
By late Sunday evening, thousands of people had swarmed the crash site. The narrow streets, lack of electricity and water made for a chaotic scene as rescue workers struggled to find survivors in the darkness.
We had the problem of crowd control, like I told you, because it's essentially in an urban area, highly populated, and you don't expect this kind of thing to happen without people coming to the aid of those that are affected.
Monday morning, with the crash scene finally secure, the devastation and death could be measured in the light of day.
The engines are right there in the rubbles. We've gotten the engineering company to move them so that we can go under them and see if we can remove more bodies. The tail part is right there. As you can see right there, still very prominent. Yeah. And majority, I think the front part of the fuselage is what rested here, and that is why we have a large chunk of the bodies here.
Beyond the twisted metal, reminders of the lives lost could be seen anywhere you looked. This is the remains of a factory, a printing press that was also demolished. But what is remarkable here is there are actually people that survived in this building. You could see the front half of the building is completely and utterly destroyed, and the back half of the building is still standing.
Because we are humans, you know, you have a lot of drawback, resentments, and maybe I think the human thing in us. But as the work progressed, and as we saw that we needed to, you know, not save lives in this case, but retrieve bodies.
Late Monday afternoon, President Goodluck Jonathan toured the crash site and expressed his dismay.
So the government is totally committed to improving the quality of the aviation in the country. So this particular incident is a major setback to us as a people.
Just a day earlier, a Nigerian cargo plane crash-landed in Ghana, and many are skeptical about the future.
Let them come and see the state of affairs. Look at the road. And the fire service, they ran out of water before they were able to put off the light.
While the cause of the crash remains a mystery, the American pilot declared an emergency just before the plane went down. Vladimir Jutia, CNN, Lagos, Nigeria.
Unfortunate. As serious conflict spirals, so does the diplomatic tit for tat, as Damascus declares 11 foreign diplomats persona non grata. The diplomats are from the same countries that expelled Syrian officials in response to the massacre in Hula. Despite international efforts to stem the ongoing violence in Syria, many fear that the country is getting dangerously close to a civil war. CNN's Jim Clancy has more on the situation.
The continued carnage in Syria elicits repeated warnings the country is surging headlong into civil war.
I'm sure I'm not telling you any secret when I tell you that there is a profound concern that the country could otherwise descend into full civil war.
The warnings are certainly clear on the ground. The massacre of men, women, and children in Hulu was a frightening reminder of just what a sectarian civil war would look like. President Bashar al-Assad says an Arab and world conspiracy is forcing war on Syria.
We are now a target of a conspiracy, a worldwide conspiracy, and this depends on what is happening in the Arab world.
Gulf states are allegedly furnishing arms to Assad's opponents, while Russia and Iran funnel weapons and advisors to prop up the regime. But there are compelling reasons why civil war may not be in Syria's future. First and foremost, the opposition doesn't want it.
We want a better future for Syria. We want to build an advanced, modern state. This cannot be done after a civil war.
The opposition contends civil war would invite terror groups into the conflict and make building any new state more difficult.
We'll now take our second break.
Nakala chilan.
Register mo way.
Wayo, go hard ba chikan.
Waxtu wi jot na de ñu ci me so ma register wu te dañ ma dog de te do waxati June 15 ku register wu dañ la dog register mo way.
Man de register na.
Man de register na.
Man sam register na.
And now on to sports. Coach Luciano Mancini has named his squad ahead of the two crucial encounters with Tanzania and Algeria, slated for June 9th and 15th respectively. Scorpions hitman Usman Jallo, who is still nursing an injury, and Pademba Toure are some of the notable absentees. Cherno Samba has reportedly opted out of the Gambian team. The Busso reports Musa Kamara has meanwhile replaced Brikama Guli Babukar Sanyang.
Champions are set for their second game in a week on Saturday, this time against basement side